Hey everybody, welcome to Active Self-Protection Extra. Today, Destiny and I are going to talk to you about, I've seen some arguing upon the Gunternet. I know that's going to surprise you that people argue on the Gunternet about how to grip a pistol. Today, I want to talk to you about how fit is probably more important than technique for grip when it comes to which gun you're carrying. Hey Aspers, would you join me today in welcoming the newest sponsor of Active Self-Protection, Mr. Target. Mr. Target is the sponsor of today's video. If you're looking for excellently engineered steel targets that will withstand thousands and thousands of pistol, rifle, or shotgun rounds, Mr. Target is my go-to resource. They've got self-sealing rubber targets too, and you can see us use them all the time on the Active Self-Protection Extra YouTube channel. Hit the link in the description to check Mr. Target out, and be sure to thank them for sponsoring today's video. We're at C2 Tactical in Scottsdale. Destiny is here with her P365 XL, and she shoots this gun really well, all right? And if you've been on the channel, you can see, oh man, she can recoil control that gun really, really well. And I want to talk to you about why, and we're going to compare that with a bigger gun and why that's going to be a bit of a struggle for her. So what I want to start with first is I want you to just witness Destiny and her recoil control on this gun. It is very strong, and many of you have commented when you see her shooting, and you're like, dang man, she controls that little gun really well. She really do. So why don't you just get a few shots? Again, it doesn't have to be crazy fast or anything like that. We're not burning anything down, but just a few bang, 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 bang. I just want to see how you control recoil on that gun.
Okay.
With one round. Because as we do.
Because why not?
Auto forwards, that's a feature, not a bug. Now, if you notice that muzzle is flat. She is not letting that gun push her around, so the gun is not rocking her all over the place. And a lot of that is good body mechanics, okay? But I want to see where her gun and person interface is. So if you would draw the gun, and do me a favor, let's point it a low ready, and then let's scooch over here a target or two, and then I'm gonna have Thomas come to the other side because then you're gonna be able to see the fingers.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying, buddy? Yep. Because she be right-handed. She's incorrect-handed.
It's not called right for nothing.
You know there's only 2 mentions of left-handedness in the Bible? Did you know that both of them are positive? What now?
I'm researching that.
Okay, so if we bring the gun up here, just kind of into your spot, what I want to recognize here is you notice a couple things. Number one, Destiny is able to get the back of her hand back behind the gun, okay? So she's got her hand back behind the gun, and she's got good front pressure here with enough around her fingers that she's got good, really good purchase on this gun. Now, I'm not gonna be able to show you that real well, but I wanna show you this here. Also, she doesn't have a big gap here, okay? Do you notice that this is connected to the gun? And you can feel that gun on your palm, right?
Yeah.
You can feel that gun here in this end of your fingers. So this is a very thin gun. It's a 365 XL. It's a 1.0 inch gun. And so because of that, she's able to get that. Now, she's also got here good space, a little bit of space here that when she puts her support hand on the gun, notice she's able to fill that. Now, I'm going to show you here, I'm going to just turn it sideways again as well. She doesn't have much room over here, right? So she's got a lot of fill there, but also, I'm not going to have Thomas move around the other side. She's got long enough fingers on this gun that she's able to get around that side. And so because of that, this gun fits her hand remarkably well. And that's why she's able to control it so well. Why don't you go ahead and holster that gun up for me? Now, I'm going to show you this gun that I'm holding, that I have holstered up, is mine, okay? And it's built for my hands. I have overbuilt grips on it and things like that, because if you look at my hand versus yours, okay? So I want to show everybody. So my palm is longer than hers, so you can see the fact that my palm is a little bit longer than Destiny's and my fingers are longer than Destiny's, right? Which, I mean, you'd expect. She's 5'4", I'm 5'10", right? And I'm beefier than she is. Okay, but so this gun is built for me. It is overbuilt in the back strap and is textured. This is one of the Robar's texture job. Okay, loaded gun, all right? So why don't you go ahead and get a hold of that guy. Now, she's got big enough hands to hold this gun, but if you notice, one of the things that you'll notice is she's had to adjust a little bit.
Yeah.
That instead of her knuckles pointing forward, which is what she's used to, she's got the flats of her fingers in the front of this gun, which also leaves a broader place here. And then, if you notice, she's not quite as far behind on this gun as she is on her 365. So that when she puts her support hand on the gun, then what she's seeing here is a little more space here, okay? A little more space here, but she's still got good finger length. So I'm gonna guess that she's gonna be able to control recoil on this gun pretty darn well, but it's gonna feel a little weird for her compared to her 365. Why don't you try a couple shots and see how you like it? Now, I would argue that she's shooting that gun quite well because she's got enough purchase on it. But how does it feel in your hands?
Actually it feels pretty good. At first, when I just did one-handed, obviously it wasn't as comfortable as what I'm used to, but this feels good.
So it's a bigger gun.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, is she going to have a harder time concealing the bigger gun on her person? Yeah, she's going to. It's just going to be, right? But it's going to shoot a little softer now because physics is not just a suggestion. It's the law, you know? However, where she's controlling it, she had to change. And I want you to note that as she drives that gun out. Do you see that she's kind of trying to figure out where her hand position fits best on this? Go ahead and try that again. So you also know it's really funny if you were watching that, because of the way that she's holding the gun, her recoil, her ejection pattern is all coming back into the dot and then throwing forward, which is kind of interesting, just because of the way you're holding the gun. All right.
It's doing what?
So the gun is ejecting back into the optic and then kicking it forward, which is kind of fun. So I say those things. When folks look at and they say, oh, how do I grip a pistol? Now, if you look at me, when I'm gripping this pistol, that's how much space that I have back behind my hand. But you'll also notice I have almost no space back behind the grip, okay? So I grip very much behind the gun. I kind of take Tim Herron's approach and build a wall back behind the gun. Other people have things a little differently. Mike Seeklander, who's a world champion shooter, right? His hands are different size. So he likes to put that gun, you know, and have some space for his support hand behind the gun. These big, beefy kind of drumsticks that I have just don't let me do that. I just can't do it. So I pull all that there, and because I have long fingers, I get way around the side of the gun, and you notice on mine, I just have no space in there at all with this very, very large grip, okay? But now, I want to show you this as well. Would you draw your 365, ma'am?
Yes.
And may I take possession of it?
Yes.
I have the gun. So then, when I do this gun, look at how little space there is for my support hand, okay? It's just the way life is when you have big, big hands on a small gun. And you notice here, my knuckles are facing forward, whereas on my P30, I like the flats here facing forward. But if I do that, if I put the flats facing forward, I create space here. I create a big kind of gap here, and I hate that. So then, when I only have this much space on my support hand, then my support hand kind of ledges on my fingers a lot, and I end up gripping in a weird spot, and I have a hard time creating contact between my gun and my support hand.
Right.
And that's just the reality of life. This gun, because of its very small grip, is very hard for me to hold. It's very difficult for me to get a good grip on.
And that's even with this too.
Yeah, and so
and I usually this is the one I carry.
Yeah, so if you notice here, if you notice where my pinky is, so the extra grip length doesn't help me on this particular one.
Okay.
I can grip because it's the XL frame, right? So I can grip this, and I've got pinky on the gun. However, what I don't have here is as I drive this, okay, I can shoot it and it's okay, but it's harder for me, and I have to really think about gripping the gun hard in order to control it. I'm gonna give you that back. You have the gun?
I have the gun.
You have the gun. And so I choose to carry a bigger gun. Why? Because I got these big, meaty hands, okay? And I'm a large frame person, and it's not hard for me to conceal. You, on the other hand, as a small frame person, for me, it's not even so much that you're wee, and so your hip width is less and all that stuff in order to conceal the gun, but the hand fit on the gun is so much better for you. It's easier for you with less thought and less effort to control the recoil on it.
Yeah, yeah. I don't feel like I have to reposition after the draw.
So fit the gun to your hand. Now, how do you fit that gun to your hand? I think, again, I really want, with that two-handed grip, if I can, I want to encompass the gun if I possibly can. So a couple of things that I'm looking for. Can I get back behind the gun in an adequate manner? Can I get my fingers around the front and have enough space here on the side for my support hand? If I can do that, then when my support hand fills this space, do I have enough space with my fingers in order to get good side-to-side pressure? If I can do all that, then I have a gun that fits my hand pretty good. Otherwise, I might have a gun that's too small for my hands. That might be very difficult. Or a gun that's too big for my hands, and that makes it difficult too. Hope that helps you when you go to try to fit a gun.